Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. This video is kind of a weekend catch-up video because there's just so much going on. I can't possibly get to everything into one video. And this is going to be talking about the economics of everything that's going on in the world. Everything that's going on in the world. It's just too much to even put into one video. But let's see. We've got energy prices out of control. They're trying. We have a new prime minister in England. We also are going to have a new ruler in England because the Queen just passed away. Interesting date and timing of that as well, but that's a different topic altogether. The ECB, which is the European Control Board, I don't know, but the ECB decided that they wanted to raise rates in the middle of economic hardship, which you never do. You never want to do that. That's like a last resort. But this is where we're at right now. As we see, the system is really unwinding. We have Russia is just approved. Bitcoin is an official means of exchange between countries for international settlements. Excuse me. And we've got I saw Egypt. Davy Daddy helped me out with that story. Egypt is now they're creating bonds against the yuan. So they're avoiding the dollar system. So both Russia is showing evidence that they don't want dollars. The Egypt is doing the same thing because they're creating bonds in the yuan. So they're going to use the Chinese currency versus the U.S. The Russia only wants to accept the ruble. They're going to probably make a CBDC and a digital ruble their own. So basically, we're seeing a lot of nationalistic pullback. Funny how that used to be the flavor a few years ago in the United States. But now all these other nations are pulling back and saying, hey, we don't want to deal with this international hardship that everyone else is dealing with. But it's going to happen. And now the dollar is at an all-time high. The DXY, the Dixie, is screaming high. And people can't afford, dollars are too expensive. So pretty soon we may see a decoupling on an international stage from the dollar as a world currency. Right now, the US dollar is the world currency. That's the default monetary unit that everybody wants in other countries. And they often owe debts to other countries because it's basically the currency that everyone uses. So what does that all mean? That's these are the kind of things that we're going to be talking about at Economic Preppers. We've got currencies that are about to implode. We have we're about to have a long and cold winter in Europe with winter coming because the price of energy is going through the roof. We have states like Colorado and California in the United States that are controlling thermostats and telling you don't charge your car in Texas at certain hours. They're shutting off, they're controlling temperature in people's homes with smart thermostats that are now not going to be able to be lowered below a certain number for air conditioning. Watch that they won't be allowed to be raised above a certain number in the wintertime because energy is going to be the new commodity. We're moving from a petrodollar system to an energy-based system. And it's problematic because the US dollar is petro-based. So with everybody with less travel and energy going way out of control, liquid natural gas was what everybody wants in both the Northeast of the United States. They can't get it because the pipeline shut, the Keystone pipeline is shut. So now they have to take fuel, or they have to take natural gas and move it to refineries and packaging places down in the Gulf, and then it's going to be shipped to the Northeast in theory. The problem is that every shipment of liquid natural gas or LNG leaving from the Gulf, it's a marketplace. So now Europe needs to buy it because they're not allowed to get it from Russia because of sanctions. So they're the Northeast is going to be competing with Europe for the liquid natural gas, which is in limited supply. You're going to have issues with all these green initiatives with solar cells not delivering enough power, with windmills that we saw what happened in Texas a year and a half ago, where the windmills just froze and the capacity is just not there. The capacity of the system is at peak output. In other words, the system is rated in Texas for a certain amount of kilowatt hours or megawatt hours that the system can generate. And they have 50% that's green, but 50% of that green is at the best time for it's optimal numbers. It's not actuals. The actual numbers for windmills and other green sources, less than 50% of the actual. So it's much, much less. And then in summer months, it's really low, like 10% at best. So if Texas has half their energy from windmills and they're only giving you 10% output, they've lost 90% of 50%. That's 45% of their entire energy is gone. It's not there. It's not able to be delivered. So now we've heard stories about 20 million American households they're behind on their power bills. People are struggling. Watch, like, you're going to see indicators, and like we got indicators coming next week. The CPI for the U.S. it's not going to look right because it's going to look low because it's going to be back from the last month where the powers that be are artificially controlling petroleum because they're pushing a million barrels of petroleum oil into the system per day, depleting our national reserve. And our national reserve is basically this program of like a million barrels a day, which is $100 million of money that they're spending to keep the gas prices low. That's going to run out right around election time. So it's going to be a mess for whatever happens come November. And then we're just entering into the winter months. So if you're in a cold state, better hunker down. The price of all heating materials is up. But you're going to see a conflict in pricing. And it's going to be very confusing for the average consumer because some goods are going to be lower in price, while some things are going to be high in price. Food is going to be high. Energy is going to be high. Stuff at Home Depot and Walmart and Target and big box stores, Best Buy, that's going to be low because they have the inventory and people aren't going to buy that stuff because they can't afford the necessities. You're going to see companies like Hulu, Netflix, name another online, like ESPN, Disney, all those companies that offer on-demand, Paramount, all those have like subscription, like they $5, $10, $20 a month. People aren't going to be able to afford that. They have to cut corners somewhere. The wages in around the world, and especially in the U.S., well, particularly the U.S., but also in Europe too, wages are not keeping up with inflation, regardless of the inflation numbers that they announce. They just don't keep up. So there's a ton of things going on, and I could go on and on about things that are happening in other countries. We know that Iran is involved, and they're trying to monetize their energy. They converted oil into Bitcoin. So they had sanctions that were there. So rather than trying to sell oil, which they can't due to sanctions, they're converting their oil into Bitcoin and selling the Bitcoin on the international market. So they're getting around the system that way. There are lots of games going on. There's lots of news international. If you don't know what's going on internationally on the stage in Europe, in Africa, in Australia, with real estate prices just out of control and CBDCs being introduced there, things going on in Asia and the Middle East, it's a lot is going on. A ton of things are going on, and the American news just doesn't report it. So it's for me to report these sort of things, and this is the kind of thing that we're going to have at this event. I mean, like, we really want you to be prepared and not scared. Okay. We have these tickets that are very affordable. There's only about a week left to get the tickets at this price, and we're not going to be able to hold the rooms after the 16th either. So you're going to be on your own to get a room at the hotel. But if you're in the area of Dallas and Texas and all that, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, all those areas, like if you're within a couple hours, even Louisiana, it's a couple hour drive. Oklahoma, a couple hour drive. Come on out for the event. Come out for the day. It's $200 for the day, $197 actually. We give you free lunch. You can upgrade to the VIP if you want to do happy hour and breakfast. That's entirely up to you. But at a bare minimum, $197 to attend, free lunch, workbook to take home, and you'll see ways to keep in touch with us going forward. It's if you have anyone that's on the fence that doesn't know about gold, silver, Bitcoin, crypto, real estate, and like you want to introduce them, bring them down. Okay. Bring them down and come on. And we would love for you guys to stay and be there Friday night as well. Friday night, Saturday night, we have deals in the hotel room. I think it's $129 a night. It's a fantastic hotel. It's the Westin right at Dallas Fort Worth. If you're flying in, there's a shuttle to and from the airport for free. If you're flying Southwest and you're going to Love Field, it's a 15-minute Uber ride. It's very simple to get there. So it's very affordable. We want to get as many people there as possible. We want to share as much economic stuff that we can. We're going to have AMAs there, Ask Me Anything sessions. We have a full slate of things that we'll be talking about. The agenda is on the website, economicpreppers.com. Go there, check it out. Get your tickets now. and I hope to see you there. So with all that said, there's a ton said today. Love to see you in the comments. I want to hear, leave a comment if you're coming, leave a comment if you're not coming and why. And tell us, like, do you want to bring a friend? Tell us, help us to get you there. Yeah, but we made it as affordable as possible. We want to see you there in Dallas on October 8th. We hope to see you there. With all that said, I'm going to close the drawer in the bureau, say file leader one more time, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.